I've been thinking a little bit more about what I want to get done today, and one thing that I've been meaning to do for a while is get a little bit more observability on my farms. So I guess what I mean by that is like, my rubber farm, it goes off in intervals. I don't know when they are. I don't know if my turtles have enough fuel. I don't know when the chests are getting backed up. I don't really know anything about it unless I go over there and check it. And then I have to, manually check the chest, manually, do everything. So one thing that I want to do is have sensors um, that will detect the inventories of various farms around the world and send the data back to a centralized computer area that will be able to display basically the statuses of all of my farms in the entire world in one room. So where I want to actually have this computer room, I'm not exactly sure. I don't really think it needs to be too big. I figure I could probably fit like 3 farms on one like 4 long screen. I'm thinking maybe this area could be good. I know I said that this was going to be like a mass fabricator area, but then I kind of read up more about the mass fabricator, and I don't think that having a mass fabricator is necessarily like a large thing. One mass fabricator takes like, I think, 1,000,000 EU to produce one piece of UU matter. So I don't really think stacking multiple, mass fabricators next to each other is really going to increase the speed that I make it, because each one is going to require 1,000,000 EU to generate one. So it's either I have like one machine or one mass fabricator that cranks out like one every like 10 minutes, or I have like 5 that crank out 5 every 50 minutes. So I don't really think I'm getting any more efficiency by having multiple ones. So I think this will be a good use of this space. Just having computers, like I could have one on this wall, and then maybe like 2 on this wall, and then I might need to expand this in the future to maybe like drop the floor down or have a second floor or expand it more this way. But I think that's the idea for today, is to use sensors to get me better understanding of what's happening in my farms around the world without actually having to go to them. Let's go ahead and start making some computers here. I'm hoping that this will be, interesting. I know a lot of the work and effort that's going to go into this, this video is going to mostly just be me banging my head against the wall trying to get it to work and try to get like all the data sent, because the mod I'm going to be using is CC sensors, and it's a bit janky to get working, to be honest. So a lot of the main effort is probably going to be off camera, so hopefully I can find a way to make it interesting. Okay, a lot of work later. Let me just, I guess, go over what I've done so far. So as you can see, I have a little bit of an output here. So the name is the rubber farm. The status is okay. So far that doesn't do anything, but that'll come a little bit later. Fuel, we have 40 out of, a lot, and that is counting all of the coal that's in this chest. And then the output is this, which counts all of the rubber in this. So the idea is that if I'm ever low on fuel, like if this ever gets to 0, I can know that I'm out of fuel, and then I can, put it back in. And then if this output reaches the max output, then I'll also know that, this is full and I need to come pick it up, or it'll start overflowing. And then I'll also have like a status message that's either like, okay, it's, running fine. I'll probably have another status message for whenever these are actually out, mining trees and stuff. And then I'll have an error status, which I need to implement here in a little bit. But that's what I got so far. A lot of work actually went into this, but yeah, I'm going to keep on moving along and seeing what else I can get implemented. Okay, one thing I'm going to need for the status of the turtles is I'm going to need some bundled cables. I intend to have the turtles give out a redstone output that's going to all go into a bundled cable, but for that I'm going to need these insulated wires, and looks like I'm going to need a lot of those insulated wires because, 4 or 5 of these makes only 2, and for each one of these we need 6 wool. So luckily I have some left in this bag from when I was building the elevator, but I'm going to need 3 unique cable colors, and I'm going to need a bundled cable as well, quite a bit of bundled cable. So I'm going to go on a sheep hunt and see if I can get myself a little bit more wool. Oh, actually I just realized I have 37 wool in here, so maybe that'll be enough. We'll have to check. I need to figure out what color I want to dye this. White is obviously the easiest, and then blue is easy. I don't think I have any other dye that's like accessible to me. I guess I could do red and just hunt down some roses, or kill some squids and get black. Yeah, or oh, cactus. Yeah, I'm gonna go get some cactus and then make some cactus green. I think that'd be the easiest way to do it. Alright, I'm gonna take this night to hunt down some spiders and try and get more string. I need more string because I need a lot more bundled cables, so I think I'm just gonna spend the night killing as many spiders as I can. Bunch of spiders right here. Alright, killed a little bit of spiders. Got 16 string, so not too bad, but hopefully it'll be enough. I'm hoping it will be, but I'm not too hopeful. I'm starting to think that I probably should have kept, you know, the spider spawner in that mine shaft and made like a spider farm out of it or something. I will need to get some kind of mob farm up eventually. Honestly, just for string. I mean, string and bones I think are really the only two useful things in this version. I think the only thing that you can do with gunpowder is make TNT. And then rotten flesh is, you know, obviously useless, so I will need to make a mob farm, but that's like way down the line, way down the list in terms of like my priorities right now. So for now it's just good old-fashioned monster hunting at night, I guess. Whew, I had just enough bundled cable to get all the way there. So let me show you my ID here. So for the status message, I want to be able to know if the turtles are currently docked here. Because if they're not docked here, that either means that they are out, you know, going for, you know, a harvest. And if they are not back in time for the next harvest, I know something went wrong. Probably they ran out of fuel midway. But anyway, whenever they're docked, I need to know when they are docked. So that's what these wires are for. My plan is to have them emit a redstone signal every time they are docked. So there'll just be a constant signal from each turtle that will go into these wires, and then it's color coded, so this one will be into a white wire, this one into a blue, and this one into a green wire, which will then get combined into the bundled cable and go into this computer. And then the computer will be able to, you know, get all three of the distinct signals and be able to, you know, make sure that all three of them are docked. And if any one of them are not docked, then I know that either they are running or there's an issue. And that's important to know, because if they're running, I don't want to log off, because then I'll basically just cause an issue. And if they are, you know, not docked by the time it's running next, that means there's a really big issue, and I need to, you know, go in and fix them. So yeah, I just have to write the program for that and see how it works. Okay, yeah, so this is how it's going to look. Whenever the turtles start up, they're going to emit this redstone signal down. So all these should be going into this bundled cable, and then I should be able to access this through the computer. Alright, so it appears to be working. So as you can see right now, the status is okay, but if I go over here and I break this line, it will get updated to out, since one of these is not receiving a signal. If I place it back, it'll go back to okay. And then one last status is if it is low on fuel, then it will show the status of low fuel. And what categorizes low fuel is less than 5% fuel, but I'm only counting the top row. So if there's like 9 slots filled with fuel is considered, you know, full fuel. Because I mean, I think it's pretty unlikely that I'll be able to fill an entire double chest with fuel for like every single turtle station. So that's what I'm just going with right now. I can always change it later. But yeah, we have the status working, fuel and output working, which is good. So now really what we have to do is send this data over to the home base, where we will be able to display it there and hook up error messages to, basically what I want to do is I want to have like, I want lights to be flashing and I want alarms to be sounding if there is an error. I do not want to be able to miss errors. So yeah. One last metric I'm thinking about capturing is like a countdown until harvest. I think I'm actually going to do that, and I think it'll be pretty easy to implement. Alright, and now I have a countdown. It is a little bit janky because I have it polling every 5 seconds, so it's not like an exact to the second countdown. I could have it run every second, but I don't know, I feel like that might cause a little bit of lag or something, just having that run every second and then also transmitting messages over there and having it run on every single farm, so I think I'll just leave it like this for now. I mean, I don't really need to know the exact second that it's going to activate, I just need to know like a general amount of time, I guess. So I think that we're done with this. I might make a few like changes, but I don't know. Alright. So we got the countdown in here. It's a little bit scuffed just because it goes down by 5 every 5 seconds, but shouldn't really be that big of a deal. I mean, I don't really need to know the exact amount of seconds until the farm activates, just kind of a general ballpark is really all I need. And then I also added these little bars here, so it's kind of more of a visual indicator of how full everything is, or how empty everything is. I tried to change the text color, so that it could be like, you know, the fuel's red, but I don't think you can change the text color in this version. I tried to, and it just didn't really work. It didn't recognize the function, so I'm assuming you can't. But yeah, I just extended the monitor one and took one off the top because it wasn't really required, but I think this is pretty much the end result of at least this farm. One other thing I was thinking of doing is like having items per minute or items per hour down here, but that would be a little bit trickier and would probably involve storing stuff in a disk somewhere, so maybe I'll do that eventually, but for now I think this is all I'm going to do. Alright, so here I am in what is going to be the error room, or I guess the monitoring room, and I think basically what I'm going to have is I'm going to have one monitor here, and this is going to be the error monitor, so basically anytime any farm has an error, it will display on this one. And then I think along this wall I want to have just normal monitors that can just check on the status, output, fuel, and all that of all the other farms I have going on. But I'm quickly realizing that I don't know if this is going to be enough space, because each monitor actually takes up a decent amount of space, and I'm planning on having 2 farms displayed per monitor, and a monitor might be like this big, right? So this room would probably only provide me with enough space to display like 4 farms. So I mean, if you think about it, that's basically all I already have right now. So I have 2 down there, I want to have my smelter hooked up to it, and then the tree farm over there, that's already 4. So I think that would already take up every bit of space in here, so I think I might need to expand this out, or maybe expand it up and down. I'm going to try out a few things and see what I can get to look good. Ran a bit low on marble, so I'm just collecting a bit more, but luckily I really didn't have to look far, because here's my room, and here's the marble. So, pretty convenient. I'm just going to collect a bit more of this, and then we'll finish up the room. Alright, there we go. Room's a bit bigger now. I can fit another monitor here, and then 2 along this wall, and now if I want to expand up or down, it will be a lot easier to do that as well without it looking too goofy, I think. It is a little bit boxy, but actually I think it's a perfect square. But, you know, it should be easy to just dig out this area down here and have room for more monitors down there if I need it. But for now I have, I mean, 1, 2, 3, 4 monitors for farms, and then this one will be for errors, so I think I'm pretty set up for now. Alright, I was actually out collecting some wool and some string because I'm going to need more of those wires. I got a ton of wool and not that much string, but I came across this village, and I kind of just want to see if villagers even do anything in this version, because I feel like you can't trade yet. Yeah, no. Yeah, this is before villager trading, so the villagers were basically just for decoration, like they didn't really do anything. Let's see, is there a chest in here? Oh yeah. I'll take the obsidian and iron, I guess, but I mean, not the best. Yeah, can't trade with anyone. And look at how they looked. I honestly kind of miss this look of these villages. Very crude, and I think it kind of fits the style better than the modern ones, but I don't know. Alright, we got all these monitors in, and I'm kind of liking this. I like the look of it. Looks very technical. I think I'm going to put more lights in the ceiling, And then I might try to find something to do with this wall here, but that might wait for a little bit. First I want to get these things to work, and then I think I'll worry about prettying up this room. I already have the program written in theory of I think it'll work, but I actually haven't tested it yet, so we'll see if it actually works. Okay, so I have the basics of the error screens down. So the idea is anytime one of the farms has some kind of error, it will appear here, so that I can see, eventually this test error will be replaced by, something that says, tree farm error. So I'll know, oh, there's an error at the tree farm, so I can, run over there and go and fix it. So that's the basic idea. I do want to hook these up to alarms and flashing lights, because I think that would be fun, and really wouldn't give me any kind of opportunity to miss any of the errors. But I also have these buttons here, so whenever I am done dealing with an error, I can press this button. Actually, I can press this button, which will remove the second error, and this one, which will remove the first. That's kind of the only flexibility that I have, but I think that should be fine. I mean, if I have more than 2 errors going on at the same time, I got some pretty big issues, so I think that should be good, at least for the time being. Alright, here I have a howler alarm. I have not tried this yet, but I do remember this being extremely loud, so this is your warning. Let's see how this sounds. Yeah, I'd say that's a pretty good reminder to check on my errors. Let me actually see the range on this. Yeah, I'd say that's pretty good. Okay, there is no way Okay, there is no way that I will be able to miss that if that is blaring in my ears. Alright, I think I have this set up right. So if everything goes right whenever I run this, we should get a very loud noise. Oh, I should probably hook this up. There we go. Uh-oh. I don't know why this isn't working. Yikes. Okay, I think I got this figured out. So startup, we have errors. I'm gonna hook up this wire again, and we're all gonna get a nice little treat. Now we do this. Now we do this. And it turns off, because there are no more errors to take care of. Okay. Hopefully we never have to hear that ever again. But it's good to know that it works. Alright, and there we go. As you can see, we have the rubber farm status here at the home base. This is the same one that's displayed over by the farm. I just want to have it again showing in my base so that, I'll be aware of the status of them. I've only done the rubber farm so far. I just kind of wanted that as a proof of concept. So now I have to do the same things with basically all my other farms. So I guess I'll start off with the 2 down there, the wheat farm and the cow farm. And then I guess on this one, I'll put maybe the furnace system over there, even though I could just walk over there and see the monitor myself, but I don't know, for the sake of completeness, we'll put it over here too. And I'm thinking I could maybe even fit 3 on here. I was originally just going to put 2 on each, but it looks like all of this fits into 1 block, so I think I could probably fit 3 farms on each monitor. And this is already becoming pretty useful, because I can see, there's only 23 fuel left, so I know I need to go refuel that before it breaks and errors. So hopefully with this setup, I will never get an error. Really, the only time an error should happen is if I screw up and, don't monitor this close enough, but now I know I need to go put more fuel in there, which is nice. Alright, now whenever you go down here, you will enter into the computer area. So I have 3 computers set up here, down in the basement. I do have 2 farms right now. Each monitor will be connected to 1 farm, and then I have 1 monitor left over. I always complain about having to go collect wool, so I think sometime in the future I'm going to build a sheep farm over on this side opposite of the cow farm. So the idea is that the leftover monitor will be connected to that farm once I get it built, which might be in a long time. I'm not really sure, but I have the space for it just for later. Alright, I think I have it in now for the cow farm. I'm just going to have the name, the status, which is just going to be on and off, the output of the output chest, and the number of cows. This says there are 24 cows, but that looks like more than 24 to me, so I'm not really sure. I don't know if I've explained this, but I'm changing this to run manually. Last time I tried to run it, the number of cows that it was counting was not updating. So it said there were 41 cows, even though there was only like 10 left. And the numbers didn't accurately get updated until I relogged my entire game. So I think I'm just going to keep it to manual. So when I click this button, status goes to on, and then the cows start burning. Click it again, status goes to off, and the lava goes away. So I think I'm just going to do it manually, just because it doesn't really take any time, and it's a lot safer, because I don't want to end up running completely out of cows. Alright, the wheat farm should now be hooked up. I made a few changes to the farm. One thing I did was I buried the turtle into the ground a little bit, just so it wasn't floating there anymore. But the basic setup is the same. Whenever it dumps items into this chest, it will actually get filtered out, and the wheat will go in here, and the runoff, basically just the seeds and whatever wheat doesn't fit in there anymore, will go off into this runoff chest here. And then I have a timer here where basically I think it's every 10 minutes, it will take a stack of wheat out and put it into this feeder here. And I just do that just to make sure I don't burn through, multiple stacks of wheat at one time, just trying to breed cows that already have a cooldown. So it should only burn through one stack of wheat every 10 minutes. So yeah, those are the changes I made to the wheat farm. Need to plug that hole up. But yeah, these are the metrics that we capture. So right now it says the status is out just because the turtle is in the air right now. I need to move it down, but you'll see that we have 0 wheat stored underneath, and then runoff, all the seeds in the runoff chest are there, and then a count since the last harvest. And then with this button here, what this should do is trigger the farm to activate. So I guess we'll see if this works. Push that button, and oh, should probably run startup. Okay, so now hopefully it should work. When you press that, run over here, and it did not. Okay, cool. Oh, I'm silly. I never added a modem onto this turtle, so it wasn't getting the redstone signal, so I need to go add a modem. What the modem does is basically allows the turtle to receive wireless messages, which is what pretty much everything works off of. So this master computer here will send a wireless message to this computer, or I guess this turtle, telling it to activate, but it needs a modem for that to work, which is pretty easy to set up. And let me actually put that down here so that we can, yeah, okay. See, now that it's running, it will activate that redstone. And then over here, we'll see that the status is okay. And now, hopefully, when I press this button, the last harvest counter will reset. Yep. And then the turtle should be doing stuff. Okay. Yeah, I forgot. I'm pretty sure whenever you mine a turtle, then it resets the fuel. Yeah, so it didn't have any fuel. So let's put some fuel in the fuel chest, and now hopefully it should have the fuel it needs to work. And the timing on this is a little bit tricky just because I have this running every 2 seconds and it's looking for redstone output. Probably should change that. So basically the redstone needs to be pulsing while it does a check, so that should have done it, I think. Yep, okay. So now he should... Oh my god, I forgot to run startup. Dude, I'm like, I cannot do anything right now. Alright, let's try this one more time. Should have gotten it. Alright, let's see. Okay, there we go. Now he's running. And I forgot to put seeds in the right spot. There we go. Okay. So now it's working as expected. And then if we go over here, the status should be out. And it is. And we can see we ran out of fuel. And yeah, last harvest is updated. And if we go up here, we will see that it is updated on this other monitor right below the cow farm. This is actually a good way to simulate an error. So if I try to activate this while it's out, we should have an alarm going. I have it muted right now just because the cows are so loud. Yep, we get some errors. I don't know why there's 3 of them, probably from whenever I was testing, or whenever I was floundering over there trying to get everything to work. But let's try it now. Ugh, this timing is really annoying. I need to change this to like check every 1 second instead of 2 seconds. There we go. So now if we go up, there should be an error at the wheat farm. Yep. And then I'm assuming the alarm is going, because we already tested that. So it should be working good. One thing that I really wish that I could do is change the color of text on monitors, but unfortunately that functionality does not exist in this version yet, so it's a little bit unfortunate, but still looks pretty good, I think. Alright, now we got this guy. Not technically a farm, but definitely something I want to keep an eye on. And what I'm really excited about for this one is I can actually monitor how many items are in the system and then automatically turn this off so I don't always hear that clicking sound. And the timer is only active whenever there are items actually passing through it. So that'll be really nice so I don't have to like walk in here and manually turn this off whenever it's not in use. But this one's probably going to be a booger. Like there's going to be a lot of moving parts with this one. I think before I do that I might actually just finish off this mechanism here. I kind of have it half completed, so I think I'll finish it off finally. Kind of been waiting to do that for a couple weeks now, so might as well get it done. Alright, there we go. Should all be hooked up. All these are powered, got all the filters facing in the right way, so now this is fully functional. And it looks a lot cooler now, having this big machine here. So I'm just going to put some sensors down on it and start working on getting this monitor here set up with some cool observability metrics, I guess. Very, very exciting things. Alright, so it's looking like this monitor is set up. There's much bigger numbers on this monitor than the other ones, mostly from the power reading. This is the total amount of power that's stored in my battery over there. And then I also have the total amount of items in the macerator area and the furnace area. And the reason why these numbers are so big is for every single macerator there's an iron furnace on top, and then also all the slots in the macerators, and then for the furnace you have all the furnace slots and also this chest here. But I put 1 item in every single possible container, and the numbers are coming out right. There's 24 in the macerators, so 12 in the chests, 12 in the macerators, and then 12 in the furnaces, 1 in that chest, and then 11 in these furnaces here. So it's looking like it's working as expected. So basically, I have something else where, as you can see, this signal is on, and that's because there are items in the system. And so this is going to be the line that turns on and off the timer. So I just need to invert this signal and then pump it into the, or I guess just wire it into the timer, and then I'll be able to toggle it on and off. So it will only be on if there are actually items in the chests or macerators or furnaces or anything like that. So I don't have to manually go in there and toggle it on and off. I just have to hook it up. Alright, everything should be hooked up. So I'm going to load this up filled with cobblestone, and we'll see what happens. I actually think that this cobblestone will not get routed to the macerators though. Let me actually change that real quick. Just temporarily. Some are going to go to the furnace anyway. But temporarily I will route this up to go into the macerators, and then they should get evenly distributed among these chests, and then we should see these numbers start to go up a little bit. And now that it's in the system, you'll hear the clicking turn on, and we can see that we have 4 in the furnace. Those are the ones that just kind of snuck in there. And then we should see numbers in the macerator start to go up, and the ones in the furnace are starting to decrease because the items are getting pumped out. And then the macerator count is slowly going up as more items get funneled in and get distributed among them. And then all these are getting filled with cobblestone, slowly pumped into the chests, or pumped into the macerators, and then put into the furnaces. And the system will stay on until it finishes up the... Basically, it'll stay on until it finishes processing all of the items. And I might actually fix that piece of stone there because that's kind of bothering me. But yeah, I'm really glad this is in place because the clicking sound was really starting to get to me. And with that, I can finally close this off and call this completed. Sometimes this monitor does do a weird thing where it just kind of like stops displaying for a minute. I don't really know why it does that. I don't think I did anything to make it do that. I think it might just be a visual glitch, or maybe just kind of a delay in displaying things since it's checking so many sensors. I'm not really sure, but it doesn't really happen too often, so I don't think it's too big of a deal. But it's nice to finally call this thing completed after all this time. Yeah, I think this visual glitch for the monitor is just kind of like an old Minecraft moment. As you can see over here to my right, like my visuals are just kind of bugging out completely, and it seems perfectly in sync with the monitor. So it's like every other blink, this chunk is missing. So I don't think it's anything wrong necessarily with the code. I think it just is, maybe something is weird about this chunk or something. I don't really know. But I don't really think there's anything I can really do about that, so I think I'll just have to put up with the blinking and hope it just goes away eventually. So yeah, oh, creeper over there. Alright, and all the items are done. Okay, don't know where the screen went, but the redstone signal turned off, so it is no longer pumping items. One thing that I did try to do was add a time estimate to the bottom, but it was just a little bit too unpredictable with, like, you know, estimating. I tried to, but it was just not really accurate at all, so I might try to fiddle around with it a little bit more, but I think there's just too many variables with, you know, how evenly they get dispersed and, you know, finding a slot in the furnaces and how many are in this chest. And, you know, it's just kind of a lot of factors that need to be taken into account to get, like, an accurate reading, so I think it's okay. I mean, I don't think I need a super accurate time reading just because I think I can just dump all my stuff in and come in later, so I think I'll just forego the estimated time. So yeah, I think this part is done. Alright, unfortunately I think that might have to be it for today. I know it probably wasn't the most exciting thing. I didn't really build, I guess this is kind of a new area, but you know, I didn't really get a lot of time to just kind of play the game and talk and stuff, but you know, a lot of the time for this episode was spent like just coding mostly, and I know that doesn't really make for the best content, so I kind of just cut most of it out, but it was something that I've been really wanting to do for a long time, so I'm really excited to have it in place, and hopefully you think that it's cool, and you enjoy it, and you enjoy, you know, seeing it get built and things like that. But next time, I think, I don't know why this isn't on right now. This one is just kind of weird. I don't know what's going on with it, but hopefully you enjoyed. And next time I think what we're going to do is actually start building Railcraft stuff. So actually start getting our rail lines in. So that'll also be really exciting. But yeah, that's all I got for today. Thanks for watching, and hope to see you next time.